grab somebody sexy, tell them, hey, give me everything tonight.
Sage Advice with Melissa is a new informative health and lifestyle show for you to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully. Whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Shave Skincare, delivers weekly advice from the best experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. It's her mission to guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice on what can help improve your life and your mental, physical, and spiritual journey. Okay, audience, here's Melissa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. You are here today on our last day of gender topics. We've been doing the whole thing all month. I am here with Maddie King-Erker, my honorary co-host. And our special guest today is Stephen Carlson. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So excited to have you here. So we're going to be wrapping up. I hate to say that this is going to be masculine energy, but I feel like all of our shows, we're going to be flowing with all the energy because that is what we are all about. So, yes, we embody everything.
Nice.
So first, I am going to introduce Stephen, so everybody
I
can
love how
learn.
Taylor just sent you completely beyond gender.
I know, she really did. She really. Oh, they. I am so bad. I'm still working on the pronouns and the right things. So yes, no. Teo was an absolute divine human being. She raved about you. They. Oh my goodness. I am like 0 for 2. I am so sorry, Teo.
You're empowering our listeners.
I am.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, always. So, yes, so they absolutely raved about you, and I have to say, just meeting you out in the parking lot, I'm like, I feel like I love you already. So, sorry, honey, if you're listening, I have a hubby at home. But anyway, let's share a little bit about you, Stephen. Stephen was born and raised in Iowa, living there for the first 21 years of his life. Then he lived in Europe, both England and Hungary, for a total of 2 years. Stephen is an intuitive therapist, multifaceted healer, musician, artist, nature lover, poet, and philosopher. Having lived in St. Louis for the past 10 years, Stephen has given Stephen a richer and deeper appreciation and gratitude for the land, the people, and the creative connections that continue to unfold. Stephen moved to St. Louis for graduate school. He has been working in private practice for 7 years. Stephen is a lifelong learner, continually curious, and takes a holistic approach to health, well-being, healing, and perspective on being a conscious human being in a body on this planet Earth. Inspired by the path of Bodhisattva, Stephen seeks to help alleviate suffering, raise consciousness and awareness, and share in a beautiful, creative, and meaningful coexistence together. Stephen, again, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I'm very excited to have you here. So as I was preparing the show, I was like looking at all the things that you consider yourself, which only were a few in here. So if you don't mind, I would like to share that because I was like so impressed with what you refer to yourself in doing and being. So first, you are a licensed professional counselor, which I think is amazing.
Take that, rewind it back. Ludacris got the flow to make your booty go.
So powerful. You are a grief worker, death doula, transpersonal and depth therapist, intuitive leader, mindfulness teacher, awareness guide, soul doula, and a psycho-spiritual mentor. So
Sounds like a bit much.
It is a bit much, but I think it's like
doing the most,
perfect.
Stephen.
Like I think it's so perfect. But I would love for you to share a little bit about those
Yeah.
things that you refer to yourself as, especially like the doulas. Because, you know, when you
Yeah,
think of a
yeah.
doula, you're thinking of life and birth, which I get with the soul doula, but how does that relate to a death doula? Because I guess we are kind of
Yeah,
born
and-
into
and-
something else.
Yeah, totally. And death, not just in physical end of life, like it very much embraces and includes end of life care, end of life holding and stewarding of that experience for anybody. But the way I understand death doula is expanded than sort of daily deaths, daily dying and letting go of.
So much more than spiritual
It is,
side
yeah.
of breaking free in this.
Yeah, and so it can include very specific and working with hospice, individuals, and actual individuals. But it's sort of guiding people in that scary, sometimes unknown territory to face the agree that that's actually a daily experience. And not just somewhere down the road and somewhere down there in an unknown, vague future, like it's today.
Yes, yes.
And so I think living in that way is what I mean when I say that.
That's what I practice. But you do work with people out of that.
I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience of doing it specifically. In my past, I was a senior caregiver, which was sort of the roots and the seedlings of me seeing and learning how comfortable I was. Because I've experienced a lot of grief and loss and really close to things in my own life. And so I think that carved open a very bigger space to be there with other people in the spaces that we
Well, I love because I had a young woman on last year, and she works specifically with people at end of life. But I have to say, at the end of that show, it was so beautiful. Like, just how she works with those people at that time. So I think it's like an amazing space to be because it can be beautiful. although-
Yeah, I think it's something that in time I can see myself leaning more into specifically. I'm in the process of clarifying as what I offer, what I want to give, how it expresses itself, and how they connect. Because I know they connect,
Yeah, of
and I'm
course.
learning ever more how they connect.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
That was more for my own
cool.
curiosity.
Yeah.
So yes. So what was your spiritual and religious background and like your childhood, family?
Yeah. Sure. So I was born into a very conservative, pretty fundamentalist Christian world, very evangelical. And so some of my earliest memories included Sunday school and all the Bible study. And I took it all quite seriously. And I think I had a connection. I felt a very early connection with, I guess, metaphysical mystery, I'd say the divine, the beyond, very early on. And it included nature, really. So that was always growing along inside of me, while on the outside was all of the very specific Protestant Christian teachings. Worship bands, leader of college, so many things. So I was born into that. It gave me a container, for sure, to understand things that start to understand spirituality.
Most of us have had a very strong faith background, as growing up.
Yeah.
But I think it does really for some of us, I should say, not all of us, but very open to checking out other things. Like I feel like as I was growing up, I was like checking out all my friends' different religions and backgrounds. Like I was just so curious about it, just to see what they're doing, what I was doing. And, it was just an amazing experience to have because I always had everybody up to yeah.
I didn't. I was the opposite. I was raised Catholic, but when we were beginning, I was like, is it a bunch of BS? I was like, I don't believe in you. I'm very amazing. When you're very young, I'm with this stuff in my head. But I did feel very sick when my grandparents took me to all that. I felt spiritual. I felt it. It's a vibe. It was so beautiful. It's the Rock Church here in St. Louis, and I don't think it's as big as it used to be, but it was very big and very well known. And like it would go on for 2 hours, and I was a small group of PhD, and I was in a pain by the women that was standing up like, yes, doing something, and so much great music, and like it was just like wrapped you up in it. And from then on, where I was like baptized and raised there, and then when I went to like the Catholic schooling in South City, then I was bored. Years. It was really truly all downhill from there until eventually it came to yoga, and suddenly was like, I think there is something. But it's funny because we all are kind of on a very unique journey in life. Like there's no one story that is the same. So then how have you evolved to where you're at now?
That's a good question. So I came here to actually use the grad school that I went to seminary. So I was getting a master's in theology and a master's in counseling psychology. I finished them both. But in the middle of that time, I really took off the last year of the Christian year as a binding or fixed cosmic story that I was living in. And so I stepped out of which absolutely led to that because of a road to that time. And so the river flowed forward. But after I graduated, about 2 or 3 years, I was just telling this to a friend the other day, I needed a break. I needed a break from all my existential and physical workings and workouts, so to speak. And I put them all on the shelf. I was like, I need to take a break from it. I'm tired. And so I was just living it. I just started to enter into life more. Like, I think Mary Oliver describes going deeper into the world. And I began to do that in a very new way. And then, found myself starting to meditate a lot more. Was being drawn to different spiritual writers and thinkers that I've always been drawn to, and I just trusted the flow. Like looking back, I was really trusting my intuition and my body and the way that the river was going. And so timing-wise, it just felt very organic. Nothing
Were you
forced.
always aware of this river, or during this process you felt this kind of this sort of metaphor?
That's become a lot more clear for me in the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Like, maybe because I'm in St. Louis and I've explored the rivers more, and especially discovering one of my favorite places in nature that I go to that's really just a source of inspiration and nourishment for me. So I go there, and the river has become my teacher. So as a metaphor, I think John O'Donohue has this line that I love. He says, I want to live as the river flows, and I'm really thankful for the day. So that was this deeper experience, and so living through just really something. symbols. So that I think has become really clear.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I know.
So that you just know and
Yeah.
feel how your life can be. Because for me, like to dance,
Yeah, absolutely.
dancing through life, and I think we can all identify with maybe what you're going to get into is like and play and share with you. Once you can start actually seeing yourself in these spaces and feeling like dancing this experience.
Yes.
Thing, you know, like it's really, like just talking to me, meat suits.
Bodysuits, yeah. Right.
All right, I like that.
Meat suit?
Yes, the meat suit.
All right, I'll stop bringing up for you.
We'll drive it
Yes.
home.
Like, listen, move your meat suit. Let's go. Come over
Yeah,
here.
let's get going.
Come over
I
here.
think that if nothing else will make me laugh, and that is all good. That is all good.
Yeah, in the world of form, you can that piece over to this
Yes,
piece,
right,
over to this
right.
piece.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So through this path, do you feel like you have found security in your energy now at this present time, or are you still a work in process?
Both, yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Always. Yes.
Yes, I mean the whole paradox of arrival and movement, and I can't describe it in any other way than a paradox. I'm not going to a specific place or point, but that what is here right now and whatever or whoever I am right now is it. So it's secure. I'm always learning more about security, or the lack thereof. But do I feel rooted and centered more than ever? More than most present and that to me feels pretty because everything's changing around us all the time, and internally everything's moving. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, whatever we're aware of. So if all that's moving, and you kind of think of what's the end of makes the center of the place that you're experiencing. And that leads to
I know for me in my spiritual study, which is Kabbalah, and we've talked about that a lot here. You know, it was when I first got into it, with like everything, it has shifted from the time I started, I guess, 16 years ago. You know, it was like presented that this is our movie. We're the producer and director, and we get to change our script when it doesn't suit us. And you know, I think it's a good reminder that we have that power, which, you know, so many of us don't realize, that we get to shift and change our own life, no matter what's going on. Yes, and you know, get stuff away at time, but you know, it's just knowing and keeping conscious of that fact that we do get to change, no matter what our circumstances.
Yes.
So, we get to share some wonderful things. So, what's been your pre-programming conditioning of what it means to be a man or be masculine, and what's your journey been like to get to where you are?
Yeah. The preconditioning, you know, from my family, from the particular brand of Christianity and culture, for sure, to not feel, it seems so cliche, but to not feel, to not talk about the feelings, to be the one who knows, the one who is capable, the one who can do, and who always knows what to do. So I'm reading back into those ways that I would say now. Don't you need to strong, however strong is defined. Never display or embrace anything that is soft. I think the softness, we could say gentleness, tenderness, those things being really relegated to quote unquote whatever's womanly or feminine. And because of misogyny, then that's lowly and so I think that's what was shown to me of, in a nutshell, by the text. The society, metaphorically, physically anything, be bigger than, because then smaller than is weaker than. So it's so basic in the sense that that's so primitive, which makes sense for where you come from in the sense of tribal living, strength to survive, but we're not there. We don't need that. We don't need that definition of strength, the survival mindset. But that still is resounding, I think, in
large and small, the United Radio
patriarchy, in I think people's conditioning of what it means to be a man, or even just the masculine energy in any of us is that, I think, of I think they're all connected, but to know what to do, know how to do it. I'm thinking of what was the second part of that question?
It was, what's your journey been like to get to where you are right now?
Cool.
Moving beyond just the masculine piece.
Yeah. So I was raised with 3 older sisters, and I had no brothers. And actually, my father.
My brother's the baby.
Yeah, wow.
The girls.
What order are you?
I'm the oldest.
Cool. Okay. So I'm the youngest, and my father is actually a very sensitive man. And 10 years ago or so, I introduced him to what being HSP, a highly sensitive person, is, which I very, very much am. And so that helped a lot. Like I saw early on. Wait, my father is actually a really sensitive man. He loves nature. He loves photographing it, being in it. So there was like a little bit of a cracked open door of seeing that. So I think that actually helped a bit. But then just within myself, I've always loved the arts. I've always loved expression, nature. So junior high forward, I was writing poetry and music and doing all these things that to me felt like the most natural thing in the world. This is how I'm experiencing reality. And I was aware that there's pressures coming from the right, or pressures coming from the left. I should go this way. I should express it this way. But thankfully, my soul is very oriented. I'm an Enneagram 4. If that makes any sense. I'm very, very driven by authenticity and just transparency of what's real. And so my actual experience of being a human and being a Susan and being a person in a male body, I knew that I had to find my own way. I knew that I was like, okay, I don't think it looks like that. I don't think it's expressed in that way. So I was always drawn to spiritual, artistic, creative, outliers, outlawed, castaways, anybody that doesn't feel like they truly fit into the molds that are given. It's like, well, I identify in that area, and I felt so I kind of just tried to follow as best I can, with ups and downs, that trail of free and authentic, honest expression of what is true right now. It's been a journey. It's been beautiful.
I think of remembering back like because I'm older than both of you. And yeah, and just in school, like some guys that I knew that were more musical, more into poetry and the arts. I feel like
Yeah.
they were, I don't want to say shunned, but treated different
Yeah.
by the other boys. It's just like you said, it's like
Yeah.
that difference. But I think, just like when we had Teo on last week, what I love so much about young people today
Mhm.
is embracing those differences and
Mm.
being so mindful of not treating someone who is, let's say, less masculine or, in an unkind way. Not that it doesn't still happen, because you still always are going to have those
Yeah.
people,
Mhm.
at least in this time, that look at that as a weakness or as being lesser than. But I really love the shift that I'm
Mm.
seeing in the young people. And even like my son, who's 23, I mean, he had friends in high school that were gay. I mean, there was a young man that liked to dress,
Mhm.
in women's clothes, and Max just thought he was great. Like his attitude and his self-assurance, like he just thought he was a great human
Yeah.
being. So,
Yeah.
I really love that. Believe it or not, we were coming up on our first break. It comes so quickly. Jimmy, be flashing the green light. So, Stephen, before we get out of here for a break, I want to make sure everybody knows how to get a hold of you. If
Sure.
you've got any upcoming events that you do, feel free to share that with everyone.
Yeah, I think while I'm getting a website going, the easiest, best way for a person to find me is either on Instagram or Psychology Today.
Okay.
That would be just the most simple and direct, like email. I think my phone number's on there too. I think I'm going to do a sound healing experience. I'm building those more. There's one on July 15th hosted at my friend Nate's beautiful farmland just south of Eureka. It's going to be yoga in the morning, and we're going to have sort of a potluck talent show. Just let's celebrate expression
Awesome.
and creativity. And I'm going to do a sort of sunset sound healing with that behind me. It's going to be beautiful.
Oh,
And then Teo and I are actually playing a show. Well, we're going to share our music at the end of July 28th. So I think those are the things on my near horizon.
uh-huh.
Yeah, there's more brewing.
I
but
think they told us about that, right? Didn't we talk
No,
about?
that's about the event.
we're going to do it right after our
okay.
road trip adventure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
can you tell us the Instagram, and do they just search your name for Psychology
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, they just search my name on Psychology Today, and then I think my Instagram is like Stephen_Carlson_.
Okay.
So
All right.
Yeah.
And be sure and share your upcoming events, because we can post to our socials. We just want to remind everybody,
cool.
if you want to get a hold of
Thank
us, you can reach us at Sage Advice with Melissa. We're on both Facebook and Instagram, and we would love to hear from you. We will be back in just a few minutes with more from Stephen and talking about our masculine and feminine energies. Stay tuned.
If you're looking for a new informative health and lifestyle show to gain knowledge and inspiration to help guide your journey to think, work, and live more powerfully, then you need to listen to Sage Advice with Melissa. Now, whether you're trying to improve your life from a mental, physical, or spiritual journey, Sage Advice with Melissa Coleman, CEO of Sage Skincare, delivers weekly advice from industry experts to provide you with insightful suggestions to allow you to thrive with a better quality of life. Melissa's mission? To guide you through the uncharted waters of health and wellness and to give you a voice to help improve your life. So be sure to tune in to Melissa. You'll be glad you did. Hey, listeners, saying thanks to your customers is nice and polite, but expressing your gratitude in memorable and ongoing ways can boost your business. At Promo Experts LLC, we exceed our customers' expectations. For over 20 years, our product knowledge and experience has helped them with their marketing initiatives and trade show graphics. We are happy to put that experience to work for you. Quality products, great customer service, and prices are our number one priority. We work with you to find unique, creative, and new ideas that fit your image and expectations, helping you build strong relationships with your customers. When you select Promo Experts as your marketing partner, we help you to see more than the big picture. For more information about this exciting opportunity, contact Diane Carson, President, at 636-458-5241. That's 636-458-5241. Let Promo Experts help you to move your business brand beyond the bland.
Is your business struggling with getting found online? Are you having a hard time finding a marketing company that you can trust? Look no further than Vivial. At Vivial, we are experts at helping connect buyers to consumers by our innovative marketing strategies with proven methods that help businesses connect to their target demographic. For a free consultation, call Anthony today at 314-437-1906. That's 314-437-1906.
Have you always wanted to write your own book but don't know where to start? Publishing Concepts, a publishing company located right here in St. Louis, offers everything from consulting, book printing, copyrights, ISBNs, and barcodes, print book layout, ebook and iBook layout, graphic design, cover design, ghostwriting, typing and editing, distribution, marketing, and more for an affordable price. Visit PublishingConceptsLLC.com or just Google Publishing Concepts to get started today. Or call 314-781-8880. That's 314-781-8880. Publishing Concepts. We help you sell more books.
Welcome back to part 2 of Sage Advice with Melissa. I am your host, Melissa Coleman. We are here today with our guest, Stephen Carlson, and my co-host over here to my left, Maddie King-Erger. We are talking about masculine energy and really everything that goes into that, because as we shared and as we always share on the show, we are everything. We are feminine energy, male energy. We just encompass all of it. And it's just how it shows up differently for each of us. So we just want to keep teaching and sharing with our audience. Just a reminder, we are with you every Saturday here locally in St. Louis on KXOK 102.9 FM. And then you can find us all week long from 7 to 8 a.m. and then from noon to 1 p.m. on My Genre Radio Network. All you have to do is search your city and search our show and you will find us. And then you can find us on YouTube. Yes, YouTube. Look for KXOK Radio, and then you can find all of our shows there. And follow us on our socials, because that's where we post everything about what we're doing, what's coming up. And that's at Sage Advice with Melissa, both on Facebook and Instagram. See, I got it all.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Stephen, let's kind of get back into that, back into this. So we were, we've talked a little bit first half about masculine, feminine energy. So for you, what do you mean by the words masculine and feminine and the feminine and masculine principles?
It's
Because
fun.
Yeah.
so much
basically
that
a
goes
big
into
party.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I think,
Well,
why people
so
like it,
from my
because there's not
perspective,
this
these
blending of religion, and you
principles
have to know how
exist
to,
within all of
have
us.
both fun
And so I
and
think
faithful at the same
that to
time.
me,
That's appeal to some.
the
It has
the
serious
goal or the
religious
direction
roots
would be
because
to
it's
find
All
that inner
Hallows
marriage,
Eve.
the inner
Holiday is
union
also
of the
the same,
two,
but hardly
and that
anybody
is
knows it.
always
Even
the
regular
way.
churchgoers don't
And so,
really
in a
talk about
sense,
Halloween
when
in
we
that
think about
context. I think
toxic
there's- it's
masculinity,
a
I
big
think
party.
what it
Kids
is
are
actually
centrally
is
involved. That
the
is,
mas
unlike the other
or-
holidays
and
where they're more like passive
a form of the
recipients,
masculine
we do
energy
things for
that
them.
thinks
Kids
that
get to be
it's
the
an
ones that
island,
go out trick-or-treating.
that thinks
They
that
get
it's
to
it's
play a
not
central
connected to
role.
anything
They
else.
get
It
to
doesn't
scare
need
the
anything
adults.
else. It doesn't.
So that's
And
different.
what
I mean,
heals that
it's-
is
One thing we're going to
connectedness,
do is when we go
relatedness,
through the
relation,
three holidays, is Rick and I are each gonna
reality,
share
and that's where
some
that's
of our
a lot of what
memories
the feminine
of
energy
these
brings
growing
And so
up or maybe
a toxic
adults.
masculinity,
And I'm going to share
and how
mine
it's connected
now
with
'cause I think it's
patriarchy,
probably
misogyny, all of that
instructive as
is
to
like
why I don't like Halloween.
it doesn't need
Is I
anything
grew up in a
else.
town
And the
in northern
whole
Wisconsin,
storyline of being a
and
macho,
especially back in the
self-made,
70s. It was cold,
self-surviving
and I
Yeah.
would say more than half the time,
individualist,
much more
sort of
than
the
half the
rugged
time, there was snow on the
individualist.
ground. But
Um,
also when
all
I
of which
turned
I just have to
7 or
admit, as
8,
I continually
I
learn
made the
how
trip to the
patriarchy
optometrist
has
and got glasses.
influenced
And I
me
promise you,
and
there is
affected
not
the
one
world that I live in and
costume
grew up in
that
and was
looks
born in, and
good
you know, it's
Mhm.
it's
with a
it's the
kid
water
wearing
that we're
So my memory of
still swimming
Halloween
in largely
is
as a
not wearing my glasses
collective.
'cause I wanted to have a
Um,
good-looking
I think
costume
that's where
and
we
wandering out in the
clarify
cold, and it
what
was
it's done
slippery, and I
to
remember
us, and we
falling down
keep
on the
doing that
ice
work,
and just
which is ever
going out there
unfolding.
with my friends. I'm not
So
ready
what
to
I
get
guess
candy,
I mean,
and there's like that
sometimes it's
whole
helpful
thing
or
that
most
every kid's
helpful to
supposed
think of
to enjoy.
analogy or just imagery.
Just
So
fell
whether
flat
sometimes
for
I
me.
think of
I feel so
the
bad for you. You
feminine
were born way too
as
early. Because if you'd been born
as the
after Harry
ocean,
Potter, see, that would have been a
and
perfect.
the masculine
Had
as
to
the
would have worn
mountain.
those glasses.
Yeah,
Or in
that's
a
really
sense, I
too
think
bad.
of,
And then you didn't
of
like
a
Halloween's never
river
been my
can't
favorite
exist without the
holiday,
banks.
but I always like
Mhm.
And so
the
they need each other.
jack-o'-lanterns. I
And
like
so
carving pumpkins
they're
and
so
everything. I always like the
interdependent.
smell of
The
candle in the
mutual
pumpkin,
interdependency
kind of burning
is their
pumpkin
only
smell. That-
true
For some
existence.
reason, that
So
particular
pulling them
smell
apart,
makes a lot
I
of
actually
memories.
think is,
But also,
and
like,
to like
now,
sort of,
as an adult,
we can attempt it,
like classic
but
horror
they're always in
films,
relation to the
especially
other.
the old
And
See,
Universal
that's
horror
how they
films,
know one
Bride of
another.
Frankenstein.
So would you
Yeah,
say,
There's some
yeah.
I
really
love all
great
the imagery,
films,
would you
and it's
say
very
the
interesting in
feminine
our
is
society
the
that
river and then
most of
the
films that
bank,
contain a kind
the
of cult
structure that
status
is
Yeah.
are in
holding
the
Yeah.
horror
it is
genre.
as the
You know, like
masculine?
Rocky
Yep.
Horror
That makes
Picture
so
Show,
much
or even
sense,
the
and I'm
Halloweens
very like
Halloweens and those,
fascinated
all the
by
Buffy
your
the Vampire Slayer
analogy,
kind of
like
TV
your
series.
breakdown of
And
masculine
even
and
the
feminine
Harry Potter
energy,
movies are
that
basically Halloween
or
movies.
like
They have
toxic.
those
So
themes
you're
with the
just
kind of
saying
horror element
that
to it.
toxic masculinity or femininity is
made
when it
them
is cut
more
off from
Yeah.
the other
iconic in
because
our
they're
lives and have staying
entangled, they're
power?
enmeshed, they
Because
need to
again,
be
you're a
enmeshed
There-
so that
there's
they can
something
be
interesting
in
about
balance.
the way in which
Yeah.
we
Hence
deal
how
with
we
the
get to the
horrific.
balance.
And then I
Sometimes
just
in
want
a
to touch on
comedic
something
or
that
superficial way,
our first
because
guest of the
it's
month talked
too
about,
difficult to
were,
address on its
charity,
face.
because we
And I think
explored
so. I
these
think this is deeper
concepts
significance.
of wounded
Halloween allows
femininity.
us
She, to
Yeah.
me,
play
in my
the
mind, I see it
horrific
as
in our lives.
you
And
have
there's something quite
toxic
serious about
femininity
that,
or
and yet
masculinity,
we
which is essentially what you were
maintain it,
saying,
I
kind of
think,
this
for reasons that are
isolated
in some ways
viewpoint
deeply mysterious
and
about human nature. This
expectations
is how we deal.
of that have been
But
put
that's
on us
what
by
I've always been a
society
little
of this
puzzled
is
by
how you
with
act as a
Halloween.
man
It
or
makes
this is
me
how you
think
act as a
we all
woman,
know is
and
what
that
you
has bred
and nobody
toxicity
says don't
within
give thanks
these
too much.
Yeah.
feminine and
No, you're
masculine
encouraged to give thanks,
spaces.
and that's looked at as a very
And
good
then
thing.
the
But
wounded
you're
for
right.
me
Halloween's
is
all about
the
being
like after
scary
effect
and
of this
frightening people, but
toxic masculinity
you
or
don't wanna
femininity
really
that we
Right.
are
you don't want to
wounded
go around and take your pickup truck
as
and
woman
stick
or
the neighbor
man
kids in the
or
back and dump
whoever
them
you
in
are,
the farm
however you
field and tell them to
identify,
live.
but
I mean,
we're
that's
wounded
obviously
from
a step
these
too far.
toxic
No, but
placements.
we
So I'm
look.
curious,
If
do
death is
you
a real factor,
follow
all of us, and it's
that?
very
Like when I say
And it's
wounded, does that
in most ways
ring
like
something
not
else
really
inside of
imagined
you, or
because
do you see it
find
kind of
Yeah.
as charity as
of
one and the same
dealing
as
with
the
that by
toxic
some ways
femininity
making
or
fun of it or
masculinity?
making
That's a
parodies
great
of it.
question.
So much of the horror themes are really about
We had a
death
long
in some
discussion
ways,
about
like
this.
It was
vampires
so
really
with
undying,
charity.
really
Yes.
undying,
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So it'll be
I wanna listen to
interesting to
that.
get your
monster that comes back
perspective.
from the dead, maybe
Um,
dead body parts. And so
gosh,
it's
wounds can
really
be so
about
personal,
death,
so
how we
specific,
manage
right?
Mhm.
Like we could say
talk about it,
collectively,
make
we
it
have some
visible
collective
in our
wounds, and then we
society
go even more
without
individual
just
and
saying like this is
how
what's the
maybe
point of life?
certain
We're all going to die.
how specific
We really
toxic
don't know how to talk
masculinity
about
or
it.
toxic
So we
femininity
make
has
stories
wounded
about it.
us.
Now
Mhm.
here's the
So
other
that feels
thing.
very
You go back to
contextual.
like real
Mhm.
early
But
kind of
I
most
think
folk
to
tales
say it in a
and legends
maybe
have
a
something
general
to do
way, it would be that
with
the wound would be
horrific or the
anything that
frightening or the
denies our
dangerous.
full
And so
humanity,
take
Mhm.
Grimm's
the
tales, a
fullness.
story like
So
Hansel Hansel and Gretel.
So
Those
like
are
a
pretty dark.
whole
They are
a
pretty
whole
dark. And
man
the
or a
Grimm's tales are
whole
filled with
woman
evil
or a
giants and
whole
monsters and so
human
forth.
Mhm.
And then you think of
would
it
be
from
the
a
person
child's
who
point of view.
is
And they're living
embracing
in a
and creating
world that's
space and
actually pretty
holding
frightening.
for
And they're
all
living
of
amongst
their
giants.
parts, all
They're
of
living amongst
every
people
last
with
All the
crevice of
energy.
their
who are really
humanity and
powerful,
their
could do them harm at
being.
any time.
So
and
the
often
toxic
do,
wound part to me
sometimes
would, in a
intentionally,
sense, what's
sometimes
coming up right now is
unintentionally. We
the
tell them
wound
these
is to cut
stories in
off
a way
any
to
parts,
reassure
to
them.
to
There's ways of
to I guess in IFS
encountering
language be exile
the evil
specific
or the
Mhm.
horrific, or the
areas
frightening, or the dangerous.
and say I can't do that. I
and
can't
making
welcome
your
that
way
guest
through
into
it,
my
making
house.
your way through it. successful.
I can't
That's what all these stories
be
teach,
with
right?
that part.
Whether
Mhm.
it's
And
Little
so
Red
I need
Riding
to
Hood threatened by the wolf,
cut that
or it's
off and
Jack
starve
Ruby's
it so that it
dog.
dies or whatever.
It's
Mm.
you face
Those
it, and
wo-
you
I think
make
those
it
are wounds that
through.
we all can relate to in
And
various
then we
ways.
act it out in
Whatever the
Halloween.
specifics are,
In
is
some
what
ways, you have little
what
kids
elements, parts,
acting out
expressions,
Hansel and Gretel
traits
story
are we
of
not
going to
allowing
these
in
houses,
and
getting
allowing
candy,
to just be
and
here
living through
with
this
us
experience
Yes.
of
in the
growing up
moment.
to the witch's
Because we've been
house.
expected
So,
to act this
when
way
I
or
was
that way,
thinking
and
Yeah.
not
about
to
scripting
embrace
this
this or not to
episode,
embrace that.
to me
Right.
at
You,
least,
and
compared to
I've said multiple
Thanksgiving, Christmas,
times, you know,
I
we're
wrote
very
this
much, we've been
of the
very
three
much shown a
holidays, this is
culture of
one
like
that doesn't
beating
really
up
have
men.
a lot of lessons.
And I don't
That may
think
not be
anybody
true
has,
at all, is what you're
many
saying.
people have heard the
I
term
think there's
toxic
pretty
femininity. And I was
substantial
like,
moral
it's
lessons,
just
and
as
yet it
important to
doesn't have
talk
a-
about this on the flip
it's not
side,
moralistic
because
in the
I
same way. I
feel
would say,
for
like,
men
moralistic is when
right
you can
now that are
easily
kind of just
summarize,
being
like, the
kind of
lesson is don't
bashed and
lie,
like
or always be
mashed
nice,
around.
or
And I'm
something
just
like
like,
this.
you know,
This
this is a bunch of
something
BS.
deeper and more
Because
substantial.
they're
And as a
living
basis, I
under
would
this
say,
toxicity as
it's
well.
less
It's
of a
not just
hospitality. That
females
is,
that are having the
like, in a
repercussions
very
Yeah.
of
deep and
these
significant
toxic
sense, the main-
expectations,
the way you
but
make your
they
way
too
in the world
are
is
having
you
these.
open
Yeah.
your life
Because
to
like you were
strangers.
saying, not
And
expected
strangers are often
to
threatening and
feel or to
unpredictable.
express or to be
When
soft,
you
yet
do
we
that,
all
you get
need that space
unexpected
in our
gifts.
life
And
to
so
to
in the
to
Mhm.
do that. If you
Absolutely.
yeah, because
To be a
if
hero.
not, then it's just like somewhere where it's
Yeah.
gonna start to compound, and like
Yeah.
it needs to be released in a way. It doesn't just disappear into thin air. It disappears into your body, and then your body starts hurting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It holds
yes.
it and it expresses it. It's like we can either consciously choose to express it,
Mhm.
or our body will express it through symptoms and patterns and into our relationships and into either way it has to find expression.
Yeah.
So we might as well do it in a conscious, awake way.
Yes, an integrated way
Yeah. And
where
that's- yeah,
everything can
beautiful.
flow
Yeah.
within a container, a safe container.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that
Mhm.
container can be, I think that form, structure, container is in a sense masculine.
It is.
It's a beautiful holder, witness,
Yeah.
a support. I mean, it's life enhancing, life. In a sense, they both are like life creative. Like both are needed for life.
Yes.
And so sometimes it gets mysterious about, well, which part is feminine of the life enhancing or life creative or life protective. But either way, it's all for life,
Mhm.
the flow of life.
Mhm.
Yes, no, I love that. So for you with your practice, how does your offering and service contribute to or impact health and wellness? 'Cause how do you
Yeah.
bring that in,
Yeah.
dealing with all of this?
Yeah. Well, I'm always aiming to humanize
In some ways, I'm surprised that such a
each
big
person I
thing,
work with,
and
and
we
so
still are
ultimately
offended
for
by
them to be
cultural
liberated, to be
appropriation.
as and healed, to be
Cultural
as
ridicule,
fully
that's
human as
another
they
thing.
are able to be, and to
So
expand
one,
that
the big
to me is
question
freedom
before we
and
close
joy
here, Rick,
and
first is,
who they
or I
are
guess
is
I should ask,
shining,
are you
which
the
will
person in your house who
bless
hands
and
out candy?
benefit
Do you hand out
and
candy to
radiate
people right on
out
Halloween?
So I
into
used to, like, when
wherever
my
they
kids
are,
were
no matter
little,
what.
I did
Um,
because Sydney would
And
go off
so,
with the kids,
I mean,
and she
gosh, I
would
feel like
say,
we could talk about this for
"Treating
a
it
long
out."
time.
Uh-huh.
But getting
Don't
to
worry,
with
you'll
the
be
dog.
coming back.
Well, that's exciting.
I would
Getting to the
I enjoyed
roots.
that. Now
I mean,
we-
for cis men who
we're at the age where
aren't
we wanna
even in
make
this
sure we have a few
conversation yet.
decorations out. The kids-
I mean, sort of the men's work, so to speak, that I want to lean into is that a lot of cis men that are sort of still fully asleep in, not asleep, in patriarchy and sort of in it and stuck, but not understanding why, or like, I don't know what to do, or they don't really have many models of, I think, sensitive, strong
give them candy.
men.
Because they're not
Um,
playing
so there's,
along.
I think, a
They aren't,
new
but look, none of the kids
rising
deserve it.
of
They're little
what
monsters. And that's the
sensitive
point.
leaders,
You're
sensitive
like, kids come up to your door and
men
they
or
try to
male
scare you,
identifying
then you
people
give them
can
candy. And so
can
kids come
look
up
like.
and
We
they
just
aren't
need more
dressed
model. It needs to be seen more. It
buy
needs to
too
be
much.
heard
You
more
have
and
to get rid of
embodied
some of
more.
the
And
ones
that's
that you
it.
myself.
It doesn't
So,
have to
yeah,
be so
I
much
give them
doing.
candy
It can
and
just be
they thank
being.
you.
Absolutely.
See, they're the ones
Yeah.
that come at the very
Again,
And I told
the
you my
feminine,
sort of
like,
dismal tale about
bringing
Northern
like
Wisconsin
I'd say I'm a feminist like feminine. We're talking about feminist masculinity. I think where it's a masculinity that is
So growing up,
has integrated the feminine, and so I think I bring that a lot just in who I am, and when I'm counseling or guiding or listening, whatever I'm doing, it's all from my being.
Mm.
And when it's not from my being, I'm off.
Mhm.
I'm not very
Several weeks
helpful.
after Halloween.
I'm just filling space,
And he was
filling the
hiding
space with my
Yeah.
body.
sack
Like it's
full of Halloween candy in
so
the
I come
dresser
from
drawer.
my being, which
And we didn't know
is
that he was
my
doing this
soul,
because he
which
really loved
is my
candy.
anima from
I
the
hadn't
Jungian
eaten
perspective.
more of it.
My
And he was playing, he was saving
actually
it, he
pulled that
said,
card last night.
for
I
the
did
trading game.
a reading for
He made
myself,
up this
and
little game that he
I cut.
played with
So coming
the kid
from
who lived
that,
next door,
I think
where they would,
in a sense
once
that's
a
the
week or so,
beginning
they
and
would
the
get their Halloween candy,
end.
and they
And
would set
my
up, spread it all out, and
masculinity
they
would
trade
be
it just like
an
trading cards.
expression
Three
out
Musketeers
into the world of
Oh
form
yeah, yeah. And they would just sit and
of
trade,
doing,
and
but the
then they would
doing
give
has
their
to
candy
come
back
from
home,
the
and then
being.
next week
Yes.
they would do it
And
all
so
over again,
when I
and
work
he
with people, a lot
continued
of what
that
I'm
up
offering is
all the way to the
balance it
following
with
summer.
being,
Yeah.
And
start to feel more comfortable with just
so
being,
now he's in
start to get a
sales.
little cozy with it,
Addictive,
find out
I
when you
guess.
don't feel cozy and sit with those, at those edges.
In doing research for today's
So a lot of it is very
I was
being
surprised to
focused.
learn
Mhm.
that when
And-
Yes.
I'm obsessed with being.
Yes.
Melissa knows this. I've been talking about being for like a month now.
Mm.
Yes.
What does that say about Apollo?
I'm curious. Do we have the time to jump into the archetypes a
I
little
think the
bit? 'Cause
drinking is
I'm curious to hear
incidental to the
what you
socializing.
had to
I
say
think
on
what it means is
archetypes.
that it's
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, they can be helpful. So some of the main ones for the masculine energy would be king, warrior,
Mhm.
magician, lover. We could add more, like the archetype of the poet or the archetype of the sage, but I think those four are a good place to start for
Okay.
people that would be
And I think
interested.
what can happen too is
They have their feminine
you're coming
counterparts,
back
and
home
in a
from
sense, they can be
far away,
non-gendered.
Mhm.
Absolutely,
I
because
think
it's
a lot of
energy.
people
But
are drawn out to the local tavern or the
every
place where
archetype
they
has
used to
its
hang out and
shadow.
go
So it has
fill
like the kings,
friends who were
would
also
be
back in
the
town where they
tyrant
haven't
or the
seen people
weakling.
in
So a person who's
Mm.
not
and
fully in their provisional
provisional
power, is going to be either a weakling and not connected to their power, or a tyrant and abusing their power. The warrior, I'd say, is
But yeah, that's a good
is
point, because now
really
instead of saying,
connected
"I
to
wonder
body,
what
your
my best friend in
body,
high school
your
turned out to be in
hands, the
basketball,"
earth, the world of form. And then
or you can
magician
send a message out saying that, be here.
is a lot. I mean, is very,
So
in a
there's
sense,
not
the
the need to go and
intellectual, but
spend as much
also
time
I'd say
in
the
these
spiritual
places where we
mastery
socialize.
of
But
things.
It certainly still happens.
Understanding
and I think that's a good
and
thing.
connections
As I argue in
and
my column,
and
we need a lot
seeing,
more of
really
that.
having
We spend a
vision
lot more
of
time
what's all going on here. I want to see the
And
whole
just to
picture
stay on
and
that
how
for a
everything
second,
works
the column,
together.
talked about
And
what I think a lot of folks
what's
are
the role of this
thinking about
piece and the role of that part,
15, 20
and
years ago now.
and then the
And that
lover
talked
is
about some of those
in a sense the one
variations
that's
about how
most connected
even
to the
before social
feminine,
media,
relational.
America was
I mean,
becoming, in many ways, a less social
I don't know how much time we have, but
Yeah, there's
we could
a
go
lot
on
of
about
things that
being a
happen
lover.
when you see
the
This
sort
is
of,
like, we can talk about the lovers.
Yeah.
They're important.
absolutely. I mean, it's the
know?
heart of things. It is the
Exactly.
heart of everything
Yes.
that we do. It's the heart of all the other ones, and the king archetype would, in a sense, be the one who is like sitting, just have the imagery sitting at the table, and the other ones are coming to the table and they work together. But the king would be,
Ah.
the kingly perspective would be like, I've listened to all of you, and I love you all, and I hear what you, I celebrate what you all are bringing to my table,
Uh-huh.
and now I will make overseeing the
Yeah.
whole kingdom. And that kingdom could be just the body. That
Mhm.
kingdom could just be your apartment, your house, your land, your network of friendships, and your
Mhm.
community, right?
Absolutely.
You can apply that to how am I stewarding and, in a sense, managing my energies, holistically, like finances, relationships, my spirituality, how's my physical health. That's kind of what I see a bit of as the king, like this overseeing of all the things. Like, I don't like the word manager so much, but a very stewardly, centered, calm, seeing over the whole, surveying the land, so to
Mhm.
speak, of the outer world and the inner world.
And choosing what is the best for the
Now
whole
what we do
kingdom.
is build
Right,
really
right.
big
Yeah, for
But
the
I
whole,
feel like in your
very large
own being, as we're talking about beings, it's like that you almost need to embrace a little bit of
Yeah.
each of those
And you drive
archetypes
right into
to
your garage,
have
you let
that
your door opener and
balance
per
again.
se balance
don't
again.
even have
Yes,
to get
They
yes,
all
because
need
you need the
to-
overseer,
We
you
didn't
know,
do this
that
intentionally.
that
We didn't
aspect of
construct
yourself that
homes
does
and
keep
cities and so forth
things
so that we wouldn't
balanced.
perspective.
But like
But
you,
we
you need
removed
all
all
those
the things that we
pieces
used to
Mhm.
do on a regular
even
basis
yourself
that provide
out
us opportunities for interaction.
and be
And you mentioned
functioning
just we'll go back to
mostly
Thanksgiving.
positively.
You mentioned
Mhm.
too,
In a
that
sense,
even,
whole.
Right.
I think a
the
lot of,
rise in
I'll just say
e-commerce
cis
plays into
men,
that too. Whereas if you get a few things with the click of a
or
mouse, that means you are
we're very
going to the
lopsided.
store
We're just like
to
really heavy on one
shop
and
and
just the
maybe run into
warrior
your
part.
neighbor.
Mhm.
And then they
Yeah,
fixate and
I'm
zoom in
certainly
and focus
guilty
in
of
and just
that.
dedicate
Talk
all
about
this energy
being
just to
much
that.
busier.
Or the magician
we
part,
are.
or the
We
lover
do-
part,
Americans
or
do work
any specific sort of
longer
part. And
hours than
I like
than they
what
would
you're
if
saying. It
passengers
draws
were.
out
So that's
this
interesting. But
equality.
keep
Right.
finding
we need it
ways, and we
all
say
in a
it's to
sense to
make
be
us happier,
whole.
but the evidence
Right.
is that
Because
we're
it even
actually less
when you're
happy
thinking of
with
you
our
know the
conveniences
masculine, the
than
feminine,
previous
it's still like
generations.
you still need that
Just going back to
balance.
Thanksgiving,
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and
seems
even
like
like
to me,
for me
there's
personally,
a
which we talk
balance
about
there.
a lot, and Julie's a lot like this too.
In
Is
the
like
name,
that
by
masculine
definition, it's a time to
for
give
us is
thanks
very
and remember all that we
present
have.
and
But the way we
stronger
choose to
than
do that
even
is
our,
just have maybe the
especially
biggest
me,
meal.
the
And how do
feminine
you
side.
balance
So I have like a
gluttony
fight
with
constantly.
thankfulness? Is that a
But you know,
you
it's
do
like
both?
it really is finding that balance.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think you
what
can.
tools
so
or
is gluttony
you
a
know,
one-time thing? So if
imagery
you're-
you're choosing
you are
to
occasionally
focus on.
exuberant in
Mm.
ways
Yes.
that
You know.
you
And I think it's
celebrate
wisdom
food,
that
harvest
knows what is
seasons, something
needed
like that.
when.
Is that gluttony?
Mhm.
I'm not sure it is.
every
So that being a
Yes.
fanatic would
Yes.
say,
Mhm.
hey,
Yeah,
this is always
yeah,
needed
that-
all the time and
exactly.
just extreme,
See,
extreme,
I don't
extreme.
think like a really
But wisdom, which is
fantastic celebration
very
would say, it's
sensitive
so great to be together
and
this
nuanced
is
and
the end of the
strong
harvest
and
season,
firm,
and the way in which
knows
we
what's called for.
celebrate.
Yeah,
pretty
there's a
much all
time and
cultures have
place
celebrated
for
getting
everything,
together,
which you can see
Yes.
throughout your whole life.
meals.
But I
Especially
just feel
Thanksgiving.
really called just
Yeah,
to
but
say
that-
men
that's what we
men
do.
deserve
Yeah,
to be
there
whole
are there's a sort of
Absolutely.
a second
too, and
factor. It
dynamic
really
and
is.
complex and ever
And I guess
evolving and ever changing throughout their
like I
lives.
mentioned
And
before,
and
all
like
of these
Taya was saying,
holidays
if
seem to
you
have some
if you want to try on this
cultural
costume for
questions
this
around
little
them.
bit, just
And
to
I think
see, just to
Yeah.
a
see
lot
what
of
it
people
feels
our age
like,
were
you have the
taught a lie
space
in some
to.
ways
And
in
I'll
school
sit there and I'll be
where
your hype queen. I'll
we
be
were
like, go
told, especially when
on,
we
Right,
go on.
right.
there
I
Yeah,
love when
yeah.
I love when they
where
said that because
pilgrims came to
I think so
America,
many
had a
of
real
us,
tough
especially
time,
like
and
a little
then
bit older than where
they didn't
you
really
all
have a very
probably
successful
are,
harvest, but don't worry,
you know,
the
we
Native
are so
Americans just around the
programmed to
corner
those specific
came over and
roles
brought
and
their
things.
spread of
And,
food,
you know,
and they all
if
sat around
we
some
could
giant
look
table
at
together and gave
putting on a
thanks,
different
and wasn't that
costume
a
for
wonderful
today. Because I think
Great
some
Yeah.
of us are just
We all know
naturally in
there's
that
not a lot
flow of
truth to that.
changing it up. And, you know,
And so I guess because of
I know
that,
for me, I like to play with
myth,
my hair. You
I
know,
think
it's
there are
like
some
different
people who
colors,
think
different
that
this,
the
you know,
origin
different
story of
lengths. You know,
Thanksgiving is
Maddie
flawed,
is
and
like
therefore
different
just sometimes
shoes
feel
and
guilty
different
about
clothes.
No, what are you talking
and-
about? All of my shoes are black platform
Well,
shoes.
Yeah, but they have variations. But
They're
like,
very
but like
Yeah.
your
The theme.
clothes,
Variations on the
like
theme.
like every like
No, I will walk
Yeah.
in and one day I will look like a business professional, and then I will look like I literally walked out of the jungle, and then like I'll look like I
Love
am
it. I love it.
walking in the Paris like fashion
Yeah.
show. Like
Yeah.
it's the full spectrum of whatever I'm feeling
I
that
love
day.
that.
Yeah.
because
And
I
it's
feel like
always
we
always
all
like
put
you
our
go.
different costumes on,
Yeah.
except for Charlotte. Charlotte's like always got us.
Yeah, she's
It's
always
just
giving.
always got
She's
us.
always
Where she is.
It is
Yes.
where she is.
But that's okay
Yes.
because,
Yes.
like you were saying, like the wisdom is knowing. Okay, for right now, actually,
Native
maybe I'm
Americans
really gonna
and
live deeply
the
in masculine
Europeans
energy, and
who
that's
were
because
up and
that's
down
what's
the coast,
needed
those Spanish
at
that
this
was
time.
settlement in
And
Virginia.
then kind of
Yeah.
maybe swinging over to the
Interaction up
feminine
and down
for
the
some
coast.
Yeah.
time and being
And
a
so
bit
the story we
uncomfortable
get
with
of
what's going on
Thanksgiving
here,
that we told
and then
you
maybe
know,
kind of
kids for
swing to
many
the middle or
generations
whatever,
was
but
a very simplistic
allowing
version of
yourself
that. I'm not
to
sure that's a bad
be
thing.
ever changing,
That is
formless,
telling
and
a myth,
swinging
a
around
founding
and
myth,
playing with these
is
different
not in itself
archetypes
a
and
bad
getting to
thing.
know
The
them. I
question
think the
is,
only purpose of our
are
whole
we
life
doing it the best
is to get to
way?
know
Is
these
this
different
the one
pieces
that
of
we want to
ours
tell?
throughout our lives
And
without
I'm curious,
judgment.
is that the story that
Absolutely.
you
Yeah,
heard when you were
beautifully
growing
said.
up? Do you,
Thank
do you remember what you
No,
were told
I,
in school?
I I absolutely love
I
that.
don't remember
So as
exactly.
we're getting
I
close
remember,
to
I
the
think,
end of
like
the
every
show, believe
kid
it or
we
not, the
had,
light
we, like,
hasn't
did
come
these
on
art
yet.
projects
But
where we
I
placed our
would
hand and
love
turned
for
into a
you to
turkey, and I
share
think we had
some
pilgrim
practical
hat, and I
tips,
think we
tricks,
had
Yeah.
maybe to help our listening audience. And then we definitely want to share again with them how they can reach you if they want to work with you and
Cool.
do all those fun things.
So practical tips for
So I remember
For
those
being.
pieces of it,
For
and then
being,
my
that's
mom
beautiful.
probably in the-
well,
I saw, you'll remember,
you know,
but I
it's
had
that are
this
easily
big
implemented.
brand.
I mean, let's
Out in the
really
field,
simply,
the Europeans
just
and Native
people,
Americans
just to
gathering
practice
together
sitting
around
with
these
yourself.
big
Mhm.
bowls full of
It's
food.
amazingly rare
I'm
how
sure it looked
how
nothing like that
uh,
in actuality. So I
for
don't
people to
know
just
how
sit
much of that
on their couch or
I
on the
conjured up in
ground
my
in their
mind, or how much
home
of that I was
and
taught.
just breathe.
I would be
And so
curious,
even
but I
before you
think
call it
there was some of
meditation or
that
get into anything like that, you just
storytelling that we discussed
just
a
be
few
with your
minutes ago
breath.
about how
Mhm.
Just start with the
the
most, what is the
Thanksgiving
closest
came
to
to me.
you,
I would
which
be
to me is your
curious to
heartbeat and your
know
breath.
what
And
third graders are
and you
taught
start
today,
there.
and if it
I mean,
is
so that could just be 2 minutes.
significantly different
And
than
so 2
what
minutes,
third graders were taught in
just sit and don't do anything else.
See, I-
Turn off, put the phone
Here's
in the
what I
other room,
remember. I
turn
don't
off
know if it's
everything,
accurate because the
and be
memories
with
are
yourself.
notoriously
Be with,
unreliable
and then you
for
find
years,
you're
but
being just with what
I
is
remember
there.
it being a story of
Whatever it
people
is.
from very different
So I'd say start with
cultures
2 minutes
who came together
and of just
for a
sitting,
meal,
breathing. You
celebrate
can have your eyes open, just
their
notice
like,
whatever
it's
you
very
notice.
difficult
Mhm.
and do it
From
before
there,
cooking.
I mean,
And-
getting out
and
into
I remember
nature.
thinking about how people like,
Nature is
didn't even
completely
speak
my
the same
teacher and
language,
healer
come
and
sit down at a
lover.
table together.
And I would
What do you think about
say
that? Think about that.
going out into
And see, I
parks,
think that's a
going
really
on
good thing.
hikes,
And what I
sitting in the grass,
hear
like let your
also the
body
history of how President
touch
Lincoln
the grass
declared this
blades.
a
And take your
national
shoesies
holiday.
off.
And take your shoes off. Exactly. Feel the earth
That's so
energy.
good.
As a way
Excuse
to
me, I like the
focus
water, though.
ourselves
I
I
prefer the
love
water
I'm an Aquarius.
versus the grass. I mean, like I go in the grass.
I'm with you.
It is not my favorite place. I
Let's
can't
go into the
even
water
lie.
then. Let's go to the get in the water and
Rather be in
feel
the
it.
water.
Oh,
I'd rather be in the sand, mushing around in the
yeah.
water.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need to
And
embrace
their
all parts of you,
antagonisms.
Melissa.
I think
If
that's
you
my
if
part,
you
though.
were if you were having a problem
I
with
am
people-
Pisces rising.
And
I
it
like.
probably
I
is,
need the
think
water.
what just
yeah, but maybe you need to
bothers
connect more
some
with your
people is that
earthly
we know where
feminine.
that story
I don't
God.
like the ground.
is that we
In due
know
time.
I like being
fast
outside. Don't get me wrong. I do like being
50
outside.
or 100
I just
years,
don't like my
that
footsies
relationship
in the
is-
grass,
We-
especially if it's wet.
people-
We
Yeah.
went and did
We know each
qigong,
other.
and we
Mhm.
got back to the
I think in
office,
some
and she went
ways
to
there are
wash
some
her
people
feet.
saying this was
And I was like, "What are you? You're
inconvenient
washing
for
the
that
precious
reason.
dirt?"
Oh, off of you.
I had to wipe my feet
I
off.
think there's also a kind of tragedy.
I would say
in that
another
you have
tip would be to go into
so many
places where there aren't
study world history.
structured
Most
rules of
stories
how to go
live in
about doing
different
this. So, for
orders,
example,
and
walking through an
they
art
end up
museum,
conflict
Mhm.
you're
eventually until they come to
aimlessly
some kind of
wandering.
resolution. But
See, I
So
like
it's
that.
doing things that are
Force
aimless and don't
at the
have
basis
a
of
specific
adult
end
belief
goal
determines
point
who lives
path,
where, who
specific
gets
path that
land
you're
by land.
following. So
And
whatever
it
that
had to
looks
be,
like,
even in this case,
I'd say
even
that's
the tougher
a
thing,
good
because you
practice.
have two
I love kite flying.
civilizations
That is a
have
great
very
little
different
practice to,
Love that when I was little.
yeah,
Loved
right? It's a
flying.
great
Yeah.
inner
We don't have a
child
written
activity
record
and practice.
Yes.
Like you,
Yes.
especially when you can just
Most
lay
of the
down and just hold
indigenous
it and just watch.
We have oral
So it's a lot of,
traditions, most
I mean,
of them we
being,
don't.
a lot of people
there's
have to
a lot
learn
of
how to
history
be.
we don't
It is
know.
amazing, actually.
Yes. So
This is
share
a-
with us because
it's
we're
hard to-
actually
how do we
to the yellow
tell
light.
a story
How everybody gets a hold of you
that
one
is
more
in some
time.
ways about
Sure. Find me on
what we
Instagram
wish
at
and
Stephen
how we
underscore
look at the
Carlson
past
underscore,
and how we think,
or
this
I'm
is
on
how we want
Psychology
to carry on the
Today.
day. This
Those
is
would be
what
the
we want to
two
do. And I
quickest and
think,
most direct ways.
see, that's
Well,
in
it
some
has
ways
been
it's
an absolute
aspirational.
pleasure
Yeah.
having you.
Oh, it has for me
I think
too.
we
I wish
haven't
we
even
would sit
touched on
down
the
and
surface
have
of all
meals
the things
together,
that we can.
celebrate what
So
we
you
have
will
in
definitely
common.
come back.
I'll be happy to.
And yeah, no, this has been amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
thanks so much
amazing.
for having me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And we just want to remind everybody, follow us on
And
our
then
socials
In
at Sage
celebration in
Advice
some
with
ways,
Melissa.
in celebration of the ways
And
in
we
which
are going to be heading out of here. We're going to
So I
turn
think
things
that's a
back
really good
over
story, and I
to
don't think
the
in telling
network.
that kind
How
of
much time I
story,
got left,
telling
Jimmy?
the story of what we hope for,
1 minute? We
things
actually
that
have
we
1 minute.
to
We have a
not
minute.
do. So that
Should we just make some, should we
Yes.
sing a little bit?
Yeah, it's time for us to scat and beat that.
Yes. Why don't we share a little bit what we're doing next month, Miss Maddie?
We're just diving into spirituality. So we're actually kind of letting spirit guide what's going to
Yes.
happen. We're
Yes.
not being controlling or this is what it's going to be. We're just like, okay, let's talk about spirituality and let individuals that we trust say what they want to say about spirituality and let that
Yes,
land.
yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun next month.
Mhm.
So I
Amazing.
think Stephen needs to come
I
back
work
next month.
with retail.
Yes, yes.
I-
All right,
You better watch out.
everyone.
Your husband's out there.
I know. All right, everybody. We are going to turn it back over to the station as we like to leave you. Health is a state of mind. Wellness is a state of being. Be good, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
And then we had about 15 years where it turned into just nonsense. And now, there are two reasons I think Black Friday isn't quite what it used to be. One, a lot of those sales and promotions have moved online, and